What is going on, guys? Nathan here with a recap of the Day 2 Love and War update for Team Fortress 2. Now, this day's update is absolutely amazing, which we will get to in a little bit, but first I just want to give a quick summary for Day 1. Day 1 introduced some new taunts into the game, like the conga, the flip taunt where you can flip a teammate up in your hands, and also like a rock paper scissors taunt and some new achievements. Now, while these are great items, they're not weapons, which are kind of the lifeblood of TF2, or not necessarily the lifeblood of TF2, but it's content that will keep people playing the game and keep the game entertaining. So I was a little bit disappointed in Day 1 in that there weren't any weapons, but Day 2, man, this changed things completely, and I'm super excited about this update. This just looks fantastic. So here you can actually see some of the weapons carried by Miss Pauling, and we can skip this paragraph. It's just Valve being kind of snide, cutesy, whatever you want to call it. First off, we will go with the Backscatter. And I'm a huge fan of this weapon, although it is minorly concerning, which we'll get into. Mini crits targets when fired at their back and at close range. Minus 34% clip size, no random critical hits, 20% less accurate. Now, I will be looking at all of these weapons in a competitive light, mostly sixes, because that is where you're going to see the fairest environment in comparison to pobs and players with the highest skill level. So let's get into this weapon. I can't talk today. Alright, so the Backscatter mini crits targets when fired at their back. That is awesome, in that it makes Scout be more of an ambush type of class, kind of like the back burner for the pyro. Although nobody really likes the back burner, or likes getting killed by the back burner, that weapon did create its own sort of playstyle for the pyro, in that because it it crits, I believe, still in the back, you can ambush people and you can do it really well. And this scattergun is essentially the same thing. So effectively, you're going to have 4 shots in your magazine, but you're going to have to make those shots count up close because it's close range and at their back. I mean, all of us have had those moments where you're kind of behind enemy lines, you're looking for a pick, or like you're looking for just someone to kill, and you just kind of run up behind them, shoot a couple of meat shots into them, and they're dead. Well, this scattergun will make that a lot more easier, truthfully, and it's going to be 20% less accurate, but theoretically, if you are at very close range, like this is going to say, accuracy technically shouldn't count. Now, one other question I had about this weapon was, because it's 20% less accurate, so in competitive servers, the hip spread of bullets, like when you fire a scattergun, is actually the same every time. Like there's no random spread where bullets will just go this way sometime and then this way, like the very next shot. There's always a bullet in the middle, and then it kind of makes a square around that one bullet in the middle. Now, if it's 20% less accurate, I'm wondering if you'll still have that bullet in the middle, and then the square will be just a little bit bigger, like make sort of a bigger radius around that center shot. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I don't think this will be as big of a deal as, you know, people might guess on their first impressions. But yeah, ambush style scout, very interesting. Mini crits targets when fired at their back. I like that, but here's where my concern is. It's also at close range. Now, it doesn't give a definition of what close range is, because that could mean 2 meters, or that could mean 10, 20 meters. You know, there's different definitions of close range on different maps. The thing is, it would be extremely cheap if you were able to mini crit a target from the front, just running around a corner willy-nilly, and they die because you got those mini crits. I think that's a little bit broken. Honestly, I think that this weapon should only mini crit targets in the back. That way you do get more of that ambush style scout, instead of just, oh, I'm gonna run up to you and kill you because I have mini crits type of scout. So that's kind of my thoughts on that weapon. It looks really interesting though, but I would like to see at least what they define as close range, because those mini crits can be devastating. Honestly, I'm guessing that this weapon will be banned in like UGC, ETF2L off the start because of the fact that you can just run up to somebody and mini crit them. Like that's not fair. I mean, the soda popper is banned because it sort of randomly gives you mini crits. I mean, you could store them up, but basically you have mini crits at your disposal with the soda popper, and that is banned because it's basically a straight upgrade from the scattergun. So this, I don't know, interesting weapon. I really want to see it used well. So moving on here, we have the Tideturner, a Demo Man shield. Yes, the Demo Man did need another addition to his Demo Knight kit that he has in the game. Oh my god, he's got like, what, 10 melee weapons now? I don't even know. It's just a shit ton. But anyway, so we have the usual shield resistances, plus 25% fire damage resistance, plus 25% explosive damage resistance. I believe that's less than the Targe, which offers a higher number, but I think the same as a Splendid Screen. Excuse me, not entirely sure on that. Full turning control while charging. An interesting note there, which we'll get into. Kills while charging refill 100% of your charge meter. Now, I like this weapon simply for that last sort of addition right there, because essentially this weapon rewards you for doing well. You know, once you get a kill while you're charging, like it rewards you for that kill because you managed to charge successfully, and now you have another charge to be used. I mean, that it's kind of like there are two types of good weapons in TF2. The ones that create their own unique playstyles, like the Backscatter, which is sort of an ambush type of playstyle, and the Backburner. And there's weapons that reward you for doing well. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but Phlogistinator comes to mind, even though that's just a super newbie weapon in my opinion. Essentially, the Phlogistinator rewards you too much for doing nothing. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But essentially, this weapon rewards you for charging successfully, getting a kill, and I like that about this shield. So, moving on here to the base jumper. Now, I think this is arguably the most important weapon or misc or whatever you want to call it. Not a misc, but it's like weapon or secondary is what I was trying to say there. This is for the demo and the soldier, interestingly enough. I did not know that it would be for demo because when I think of like blast jumping, you know, soldier obviously comes to mind because demos just don't jump as much, besides obviously in rollouts, but it's like jumping is more like a roamer's duty, so that was just kind of interesting. But basically it's a parachute, and you can press jump while you're in the air to deploy. I'm not entirely sure how much this parachute will slow your descent, but this will be absolutely huge for competitive, because in sixes you run, so like the meta is that you run a roamer for one of your two soldiers, and this the roamer essentially specializes in rocket jumping. Rocket jumping is kind of the lifeblood of the roamer because he uses it to get around, to basically bomb into the enemy team, tries to get kills and medic picks off of it, and having this parachute will be really interesting. It'll make the demo and the soldier in a class way more mobile because they can essentially jump farther. I'm not entirely sure if it will be as common on demo though, because it will either take the slot of your sticky bomb launcher or your pipe launcher, and if it takes the place of your sticky launcher, that will actually suck a lot because your sticky launcher is your main source of damage in the competitive scene. So that might be definitely more rare on the demo, but on a roamer, this is going to be amazing. You won't have gunboats, but I'm definitely thinking that this will be a better trade-off for the reduced damage to yourself from rocket jumping. So this is a huge game changer. I'm not sure if this will be banned or not, because it's kind of like sort of its own unique playstyle, kind of, sort of, but I'm really excited to see what people will be able to do with this weapon. You know, get some amazing kills just by rocket jumping like halfway across the map, and this might even change rollouts, like to the point where roamer will always be the first one to arrive at a midpoint. So I don't know, I'm just kind of speculating on that, but I predict that this weapon will be absolutely huge. Alright, we got a new sniper rifle, which I've seen so many people request in my previous videos. Charge and fire shots independent of zoom, so you do not have to zoom into your sniper rifle to charge up your damage meter. No headshots when not fully charged, minus 10% damage on body shot. Now, I'd like to start by saying this minus 10% damage generally won't matter because in the competitive scene, people are usually at a high enough skill level where like they only get headshots. At least as a medic, like as a medic main, I know this because I get headshot freaking constantly. So, and it's very rare that I get body shot and survive. So, anyway, this sniper rifle is interesting, and the reason I say that is because I'm not sure how the zoom or the charging mechanics will work, because essentially just from the stats I might guess that, well, your sniper rifle's always charging up for its shots, so you're basically going to spawn with a full charge, and like just being able to fire from your hit with a full charge and be able to kill somebody with 300 health, that seems a little bit broken in my opinion. No headshots when not fully charged basically means that you can't, when it's charging, you can't, just zoom in, get a quick headshot off, kill a scout or whatever, and just keep on going. But I'm really, if the charge meter is like I outlined before, this might not even matter because you might always just have a full charge ready to go if you're not doing anything as snipers. So it'll be interesting how that works out. Yeah, I think this sniper rifle has a lot of potential to be broken. And I mean, part of sniper is that you're effectively sacrificing your movement speed and your ability to dodge by staying still, and you're trading that for extra damage by scoping in and like actually charging up your damage meters. So, kind of an interesting twist to sniper in that they're kind of getting rid of his classic trade-off between that loss of mobility and extra damage. So, I don't know. Interesting sniper rifle. We'll see how it goes with that. The Airstrike. Now, this is an interesting weapon that could be either really good or just not that good at all. This is going to boost roamers again, I believe. Increased attack speed while blast jumping, and of course Valve doesn't include a percentage on this, which would really help. Clip size increased on kill, minus 25% damage penalty, minus 25% clip size, minus 15% explosion radius. Now, I'd like to start out with this weapon kind of the same way as a sniper rifle. I'm not sure this minus 15% explosion radius will be that important, because effectively it's eliminating off of the blast radius not even like half of the width of a scout. So I'm pretty sure this won't matter that much, especially when you're trying to go for direct hits, to get extra damage, theoretically. Just not a big deal for this last one, but this will help out roamers, hopefully, is what I'm predicting, because you'll have effectively an advantage while you are jumping, which is what roamers do a lot. Your clip size will be increased on kill. Not so sure about this because people don't really accumulate kill streaks in competitive TF2 a lot. There's a lot of give and take in competitive TF2 in that, if you suicide in your roamer, that's actually a tactic. You basically send your roamer in to try to get the enemy medic to pop his Uber, and in exchange for that, your roamer basically dies. So that's kind of a tactic. So, but anyway, the point from that was that kill streaks aren't really a thing in competitive, unless you manage to go huge, but that just doesn't happen that often, so I'm not sure this clip size will actually matter a lot. So, effectively, you're going to stay at a 3 rocket magazine size for most of the time that you're probably alive, which I'm not so sure about that. 4 rockets is really nice to have. But the thing is, you have a minus 25% damage penalty. And the question is whether the attack speed that you gain while you're rocket jumping can outstrip this minus 25% damage penalty. Because, let's say you get a plus 25% attack speed while you're rocket jumping. I'm not so sure if that trades off evenly with a minus 25% damage penalty because, although this explosion radius sort of nerf is very minor, it all adds up, and I'm not so sure like if you just get an even trade-off of attack speed and damage that will add up. Maybe if it's like plus 50% attack speed while you're rocket jumping, that might be able to outstrip this minus 25% damage penalty just because you can get more damage out in less amount of time. Because that's basically what Roamer is all about. You want to get, well, when you're jumping anyway, you want to get as much damage out in the least amount of time as possible, and it's kind of a toss-up whether this rocket launcher will be able to do that job effectively better than the default rocket launcher. So, interesting sort of rocket launcher here. We'll see how this plays out as well. It might be more of a weapon to be used in pubs, because in pubs you tend to get more of a kill streak than in competitive, but yeah, so kind of an interesting rocket launcher, I suppose. And that's the end of the new weapons. Moving on here, it's mostly just reskins. So the bread box is effectively, I believe, just a crate. Or you can craft it, I guess. Recipe expires July 9th. That's kind of interesting, but if you open it, craft the bread box to get one of the following items. Yeah, so if you craft this recipe, you will get one of the following items inspired by the TF2 movie expiration date, which is one of these items, which are reskins. This is the self-aware beauty mark, which is basically a reskin of the Girardi. This is a reskin of the Sapper, reskin of the Gloves Running Urgently, reskin of the Mad Milk. Now, the thing that I actually would like to question is, I didn't know, like, bread doesn't have cells. Like, bread, I believe, if I have my science right, or my cooking right, I don't even know, bread is, like, rises from yeast, and I'm pretty sure yeast is not, like, live cells, like cells that can develop tumors, because that's what they said in the expiration date video, that this bread has developed tumors, but like that makes no sense because you're taking an inanimate object and all of a sudden it can grow tumors, and I'm not entirely sure how it grew teeth either out of tumors. Like, there's nothing in bread that would make it have rock hard teeth. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to ponder the physics of a Team Fortress 2 video. And then we have some achievements. So that's pretty much it. And then you have just a 30-second that I'll just mute here. But it doesn't really show much. It's just kind of, hey, these are the new weapons, yay. 30 seconds short. But there you can see the new sniper rifle. There you can see the new Gloves Running Urgently. And that's pretty much it. So, this is day 2. I'm interested in what day 3 will bring, to be quite honest, because, now that we have the weapons out, now that we have the extra decals out, are we going to get, a new MVM boss? Like, I don't know what'll be on day 3. I'm assuming it's day 3, actually, because that's how past updates have been revealed. So, if there is a day 3, I'm not sure what will be in that day. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully you have you're getting hyped for this update. New weapons, can't go wrong with new weapons unless they're super broke, which some of these might be. Not even gonna lie, but that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I will see you all later.